Hello and welcome if you're new to my channel, and if you're a subscriber, a warm welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be talking about two women's wear brands, Eskandar and Oska. They're both focused on your oversized, your free-flowing pieces. And Eskandar is a brand I've looked at for many years, longingly, but from a distance, because the oversized look just doesn't work with my frame, with my height. I'm petite in both height and build. But I'm of mixed parentage, South African and Zimbabwean, and my South African aunties in particular are fairly full-figured. They're stylish, and I've always thought Eskandar is a brand that they would appreciate. And then coupled with the fact that recently one of my subscribers out in Singapore, where I have a growing subscriber base, mentioned she enjoyed my Joseph video. She liked the outfit combinations. I enjoyed that video, but I didn't get a lot of traction. I thought, let me leave the fashion videos out of my channel, but I will come back to them and create possibly 3 or 4 videos a year, putting together outfit combinations once I have somebody to help me film. But what I'll also do going forward is talk about brands, and I'll couple either a high-end and a mid-tier brand, or I'll have 2 mid-tier brands. So my recommendations are inclusive, and I cater for a much wider range of budgets. As you know, my channel is all about quality. My hashtag is buy better, buy less, and therefore I will never talk about fast fashion going forward. It'll always be high-end and a mid-tier brand. I'm Anesu Sagonda, and I produce educational luxury content for anyone after the finer things. Whether you're young and starting out in life and wanting to reap the benefits of buying quality from the get-go, or you're into luxury but wanting to focus more on quality under the radar brands, or you're new to money and wanting to learn how to navigate the terrain, then my content is geared towards you. Oska and Eskandar are what are referred to as slow fashion. Slow fashion is the exact opposite of fast fashion, where it's all about low quality, low priced, mass-produced clothing items. And you have YouTube, for example, with literally millions of fashion hauls from some of your fast fashion behemoths like Zara, Primark, Shein, for example. With slow fashion, the emphasis is heavily on quality. Firstly, superior quality materials are used, especially relative to fast fashion, coupled with much better craftsmanship. So the emphasis is very much on your artistic talent, possibly entirely handmade product. It's all about the details, better pattern that's used, the additional details that go into the clothing items, and you ultimately end up with a much better quality product, which the brand is able to charge more money for. Because it's a better quality product, it also means the brands are making less in terms of the quantities of clothing items. Oska, for example, only produced 2 collections a year, one for the warmer months and also one for the colder months. Oska is a German brand that was started in 1997, privately owned by Helmut Bayer. And whenever you read any marketing material, press releases, interviews, for example, about Oska, the emphasis is always on sustainability in terms of sustainable materials being used, or the brand working in a manner that's sustainable, that's of minimal impact to the environment, for example. It's a term, sustainability, that's very heavily bandied about by a lot of brands. They merely pay lip service to the term sustainability, but Oska have made sure that from the very beginning, the entire supply chain, the way the business works, is sustainably focused. So for example, they work with a very carefully selected small group of typically your family run businesses, where they source their materials, and they have in place a fully integrated production system. They have 2 factories in the Czech Republic where they source in the materials and they launder, they process, they color the materials in-house. That way, firstly, they're able to get the exact colors that they would like. But it also means, because they have much better control of the whole chain, they're able to ensure that there's fair prices, there's transparency, there's very little waste, there's minimal negative impact on the environment, for example. As a brand, their focus is very much on, as I mentioned at the beginning, Oska and Eskandar, your oversized pieces. With Oska specifically, they are all about very classic, very, very simple shapes in terms of the styles of their clothes, coupled with the incredibly versatile color palette they're focused on. Oska and Eskandar both are focused on your more muted color palettes. They produce clothing items in all of the colors of the rainbow, but it's the muted take of the colors. That way, being muted, it means the clothes are ageless, they don't age at all, and they can be worn by any age group because of their muted nature. And then throw into that, they use premium quality materials, so it's all about natural materials. 70% of everything that Oska produces is made from natural materials. In the summer months, they're focused more towards your linen, your hemp, your cotton. And then the winter months, they're focused more on your boiled wool, which they typically process into merino wool. So they're using premium quality materials, incredibly versatile, muted colors, and you ultimately end up with products that are unique, they are striking, they're very much influenced by the Asian silhouette, and they go against the grain of what is mainstream fashion. Their pieces are unique, they're different, they stand out for all the right reasons. They've coupled good quality materials, the muted color palette, and they've got incredibly striking, unique looks. As a brand, they are heavily present within Europe, heavy presence within Western Europe, within certain Eastern European countries, and the cities where they are located, you will find they have multiple stores within those cities. And you'll also find Oska in Canada and also in Australia. What I particularly like about Oska when you go into their stores is they have grouped colors that complement each other, and then they also have mannequins with different outfit combinations, so you're able to know which colors match, and then they give you combinations of outfits for you to start with. They also have in store a stylist service where you're able to get help with putting together your clothing items. In terms of prices, you're looking at prices of about £70-80 for their t-shirts. For trousers, for skirts, for tunics, for example, you're looking at prices of about £200 to £300. And your slightly more substantial items, your coats, for example, you're looking at prices of about £500, for example. Also within Oska, they have another brand within the brand, Ashiko. Ashiko also slightly oversized. It's not as oversized in terms of the look of the styles. It's a funkier brand geared towards a slightly younger audience. It has a sportier look to it. And it's also a little cheaper than your typical Oska prices. Eskandar is a British brand that was founded in 1991. And it's eponymously named after its Iranian-born founder and creative director, Eskandar Nabavi. The brand started with knitwear before moving on to creating a full range of women's wear. The focus for the brand is on making unique individual pieces that are incredibly luxurious. In addition to using cotton and linen, they're focused on using a lot of cashmere, silk, and also blends of those two materials. So what they do is combine incredibly high quality or premium fabrics, and they make beautiful clothes in very classic, simple shapes, muted colors, and you ultimately end up with products that are supremely comfortable and highly functional. As I mentioned at the beginning, Eskandar is at the top end of the market. So you're looking at typical prices of about £120 for a t-shirt, tunics, trousers, skirts. You're looking at typical prices of between £300 to £500. And then your slightly more substantial pieces, so your coatigans, your cardigans, your coats, for example, you're looking at starting prices of about between 900, £1,000 and above. It depends entirely, of course, on the material that's being used. Very similar to Oska in that in Eskandar they group together colors that complement each other. They also have outfit combinations dotted throughout their stores. Most of their stores, in fact the majority, all of their stores are located either in Western Europe or in the United States. They have a flagship store in Paris, and they have another flagship store in London, as well as a smaller store in London. So they have two stores, one on Mount Street. I'm going to attach the video above where I reference the Eskandar store in Mount Street. And then the flagship store is located in Chelsea, and it's right at the bottom of King's Road, off King's Road actually, on Lots Road, and it's a two-story store. And then they also have other flagship stores in the United States, one in New York, one in Los Angeles, one in Chicago. They have concessions in Bergdorf Goodman, a concession in Harrods, in Fenwick in the United Kingdom. They also have a concession at Holt Renfrew in Canada, and they're also available from Neiman Marcus and also on Matches Fashion. All of the retailers ship globally, so wherever you are in the world, you'll be able to buy Eskandar clothing items. What Eskandar has also done, very cleverly, very strategically done, is he has curated a very carefully considered selection of brands, accessories that complement the women's wear. So within the stores, they stock a number of jewelry brands. And what you'll find is the jewelry brands are incredibly simple in their aesthetic, but they're beautiful in that simplicity. And the jewelry very elegantly just completes the outfit combinations that you'll find dotted around the stores. And they also have homeware in the stores. And what he's done with all the brands is he has chosen brands that complement the whole look and feel of Eskandar. And they're also brands that are typically at the top end of their respective niches. Homeware, brands like Aleppo in the glassware. You have, for example, Lech Potteries, one of the most respected and influential studio potteries in the world. They have inspired many brands within the pottery space. And then they also stock candles and other ceramic brands. A noteworthy brand, a French brand called Alexis de Rains. There's ceramics there. And their candles. Their candles are in porcelain pots, and the porcelain is made in Limoges, the porcelain region in France. And the actual wax itself has been mixed by a master perfumer from Grasse. Grasse is one of the most foremost perfumery areas in the world. Some of the master perfumers in the world are located in Grasse. It's an area I went to a couple of months ago researching perfume in anticipation of a video that's going to be coming out over the next few weeks about perfume. And with fragrances, it's all about high quality ingredients. So you end up with a fragrance that's specific and refined. And then when you burn the candle, the fragrance just very delicately lingers. And the master perfumer mixes the fragrance, and then you also find the candles burn evenly. So once the candle's burnt through, the porcelain pots can be used to store things, as tumblers, as flower pots for tiny cute flowers. You can reuse them again. So Eskandar's very carefully chosen brands that uphold the standards of Eskandar. And you come into the stores, for example, the flagship store in London, you come in 2 floors. Largely, as you come in the ground floor, as you enter, there's the homeware, there are table settings for inspiration. And then you have fused around that women's wear, there's seating space as well. And you could actually bring in a friend or friends and sit down, have tea and chat before going around the store. The store is very well put together, well considered in how it's been laid out. And you go around, it's like you're walking through a very well appointed, well put together house that's very comfortable and easy to maneuver. And it just makes the whole shopping experience a lot more fun. So you come in, you relax, you go around with your friends, you shop, you can sit down, and there are also eateries in the area, and you can just make a fun date of the whole experience. But that's two brands. Oska, confidently within the mid-tier, Eskandar top end of the market, both offering classic shapes and premium quality designs, muted colors, and products that are very high quality, well made, well considered. Any questions, as always, let me know in the comments down below. But recently I was at a trade show in Italy and I stumbled across a phenomenal brand called Sophie D'Hoore. Very similar to Oska and Eskandar. It would complement these two brands. I will create a separate video in the coming weeks talking about Sophie D'Hoore and maybe combine it with another brand. But once that's done, I will include it in this video for your reference. As always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.